Now I would like to continue to talk real football. Hopefully that is the last time that I will ever bring pop culture into my show, into what I talk about, because honestly, I couldn't care less what celebrities are doing. Let them live their lives. It's cool if people want to indulge in that. It's just not something that I am particularly into. Let's talk about something that I am into, the NFL and the game of the week this week between the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys fans and San Francisco 49ers fans, it's like a perfect storm. Neither fan base likes me because I said the San Francisco 49ers are going to pull back. They absolutely can. That means that I still don't believe that they're going to make the NFC Conference Championship game. I don't think the San Francisco 49ers are the best team in the NFC. And then Dallas Cowboy fans, you know the story. I'm probably one of Dallas Cowboys on FBI's most wanted when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys fan base. They don't love me. I'm a Dallas Cowboys truther. So let's talk about this game. The San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys are going to square off in what will probably rival the ratings for the Taylor Swift New York Jets Kansas City Chiefs game that happened last week that we stated before was the highest rating game since the last Super Bowl. The San Francisco 49ers and Dallas Cowboys are going to run it back. Now, what this game and what these teams are mostly known for is Dak Prescott running out the clock. 2 years ago in Jerry World, the San Francisco 49ers won that game. And then we also have Dak Prescott throwing 2 horrendous interceptions. But again, I digress. The Dallas Cowboys, on paper, are the more talented team. They are missing Trayvon Diggs, but guys like CeeDee Lamb, players like Brandon Cooks, I've been told how great Stephon Gilmore is. Micah Parsons is probably the best defensive player in the NFL. They have probably equally the same offensive lines. The coaching advantage goes to Kyle Shanahan, but it doesn't matter because this is going to be one of those games where Dallas Cowboy fans will tell me, well, we don't need Dak to be awesome. We'll just have him get carried by our awesome weapons, CeeDee Lamb and company, Tony Pollard, our defense, our stifling defense that is so good. It's so great in fantasy, unless, of course, you're playing the Arizona Cardinals, then it completely chokes on itself. But I digress there. The Dallas Cowboys are going to need to lean on Dak Prescott in this game. This game could have home field advantage in the NFC playoffs written all over it, which is why I believe Dak Prescott will puke all over himself. People tell me, talked about my wife enough today, I'll bring her up again. She told me, because we were watching the Diamondbacks game, Diamondbacks advance, going to play the Brewers. Diamondbacks in 4. But we were watching the Diamondbacks game the other day, and I was joking around, and she was kind of poking fun of me, and she goes, you know what? You put too much blame on one person. They're a singular team. Yeah, the reason why I put so much on one player in this instance when it comes to Dak Prescott is because he makes $40 million a year. He's probably going to get another extension here soon and make more money. So he makes the most money on the team. He's in the most important position. So for that being said, he deserves the most blame. That only makes sense to me, right? If you're in the most important position in football, maybe the most important position in sports given the popularity of the NFL, and you make the most money, you should get the most blame. I'm not going to blame Brock Purdy if they lose this game. People know how I feel about Brock Purdy. I think he's cool. I think he's a good player. He's a great kid. I've talked to Brock Purdy before. Very nice guy. This is a guy that I think who is somewhere between 12 and 14. In the same area of Dak Prescott in terms of rankings in the NFL. And people will tell me that's too low, but it doesn't matter. Because Brock Purdy, I'm not going to harp on him. Brock Purdy makes like no money. He was a 7th round pick. He was Mr. Irrelevant. Brock Purdy is doing exactly what he should be doing. It is not going to be on him if they lose this game. Now, could it be on Kyle Shanahan? Possibly, but we'll talk about that another day. This is what this game is going to come down to. And I've consistently been right about this. The defense will not be as good as it is against guys like Mac Jones or Daniel Jones or whoever it is, subpar quarterback, Zach Wilson. So the defense isn't going up against Zach Wilson and Daniel Jones and guys like that, the players that it's easy to absolutely manipulate. Brock Purdy could play. And not only can Brock Purdy play, even more so, they've completely supported him. CMC just had 4 touchdowns last week. Brandon Ayuk is a very good number 2. Deebo Samuel is a very solid number 1 in the NFL. Trent Williams, the offensive line is good. It's probably going to hold up. So the defense can't carry you in this game, which has always been my argument. Sure, the defense, the weapons, the coaching, if you want to throw that in there, can carry Dak Prescott for like 10, 11 games in the season. You're going to win 10, 11 games. Minimum, right? But when it comes down to the wire, when the team knows you have to pass, is Dak Prescott good? Because he's not. He's got 2 wins in the playoffs. If I'm not mistaken, only 2 games with a passer rating over 100. One of those games came against the worst playoff team that we've seen the past decade in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Won in an abysmal division. Tom Brady was 45-something years old. So, yeah, I'm not giving you a ton of credit for going on the road and beating one of the worst teams. Because we can't give Dak Prescott all the credit for that, right? Because his defense was awesome in that game. Held Tom Brady to like 8 points. The defense and the weapons can't carry you forever. You are always going to have to lean on your quarterback to win games. It is why I've always said if you don't have a top 8 quarterback, it is almost impossible for you to win the Super Bowl, especially in this day and age. Because I hate to break it to you, and stop saying this. You just sound dumb at this point. Defense wins championships. No, it doesn't. Not in 2023. You know what wins championships? Loading up the offensive side of the ball, getting a quarterback on a rookie contract, and steamrolling through the competition. The Eagles had a great defense last year. Couldn't get a stop against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl. Could not get a stop on Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Great defense the Eagles had. Couldn't get a stop in the second half against Patrick Mahomes when it really mattered. Because Patrick Mahomes rises to the occasion. Josh Allen, a quarterback I trust, he's been told to put on the superhero cape multiple times in the regular season and in the playoffs, and he does it. Doesn't have a Super Bowl to show for it, but he's been to an AFC Championship game. Dak Prescott hasn't. Joe Burrow, he's been to the Super Bowl. Dak Prescott is not going to be able to carry you in this game. I believe the Dallas Cowboys are going to lose this game, and they're going to fall 2 games back to the San Francisco 49ers. Because that defense, that running game, those wide receivers, throw the coaching in there if you want to, is not going to be able to carry you all the time. It's crazy to me. Cowboy fans were up in arms about beating the Patriots, but were nowhere to be found when the Cardinals beat them. Because you know what happened in the Cardinals game? Everyone in that bad Cardinals secondary knew you had to pass Dak Prescott, and you could not get the job done. Dak Prescott is incapable of winning games when the opposing team knows you have to throw. He's not as good as Kirk Cousins. Dak Prescott isn't Kirk Cousins now. Kirk Cousins has surpassed Dak Prescott as a quarterback. And honestly, I'm not so sure Dak Prescott is better than Brock Purdy. People will say, well, if you put Dak Prescott on the San Francisco 49ers, look where they'd be. Where would they be? They're undefeated right now. Brock Purdy hasn't lost in a game that he started and finished. He can't do better than that. You literally can't do better than that. The defense, the running game, the coaching, the weapons can only carry you for so long until the team is going to say, hey, $40 million quarterback in the most important position in the NFL, carry us. Dak Prescott can't do that. The Cowboys are going to lose this Sunday. And then Cowboy fans will be nowhere to be found unless, of course, they pull out a miraculous win because the defense showed up, because the wide receiver showed up, because the running game showed up. Mike McCarthy didn't time manage like a dummy. He did it correctly. And that's why I believe San Francisco 49ers are going to come out on top. They're the better coach team. They probably have the better quarterback at this point. As much as I want to hate on Brock Purdy at some points because I don't think he's as great as other people say he is, doesn't make a ton of money in the most important position in sports. He's well accommodated with all those weapons and the defense. So for that reason, Dallas Cowboys are going to lose this weekend, and no Dallas Cowboy fan will be in sight for the next 5 days.